Students, today we are going to discuss the classification of the secondary activities. Already under the secondary activity, we read yesterday about the manufacturing industries. So, today we are going to classify this manufacturing industries only. The manufacturing industry classified on the basis of their size, the raw material or input or the output or the product, even the ownership also. The amount of the capital invested in our industry, according to that we are dividing the manufacturing industries according to the size. The amount of the capital or the number of the workers are employed or the volume of the production, this all determine the size of the industry. Accordingly, industries may be classified into the household industry or the cottage industry, small scale industry, and large scale industry. Now, the household industry. The household industry and the cottage industry are the smallest unit of the manufacturing units. Over here, the people are using the raw materials that is very much simple and local raw materials. The simple tools are used to produce the goods. They are working from their home only. No extra labors are required in this kind of the industry. The family members are only the labor in this kind of the work, and the finished product mostly consumed by the family members only. If they sell it in the market also, so the selling procedure is the barter system only. The capital and transportation do not wield much influence to this kind of the manufacturing, and this kind of the industry having very low commercial significance, and most of the tools and devised are locally only. Now, basically, the household industry, we can see that this household industry are the smallest manufacturing units. The normal local raw materials are used. They don't require huge amount of the capital investment also. The people, the household workers are working over there. The family member is working as a laborer. The produces the goods with the help of the family member only. The finished products may be used for their family consumption, or they can sell these things in the local market also. The capital and transportation is not influence this kind of the manufacturing industry, and this kind of the manufacturing industry is having low commercial significance. Now, the next type of the industry that we are having, that is the small scale manufacturing. Small scale manufacturing is actually, we can separate it from the household industries by the procedure of the production. Actually, they are using little bit tools and techniques. In this kind of the manufacturing industries, the workshops are located outside of the home or the cottage of the producer. The type of the manufacturing, in this kind of the manufacturing, they are using the local raw materials. The small simple power driven machines are used, and they are using semi skilled labors also. Earlier, we have seen that the laborers are not skilled or the family members are working as a labor, but in the small scale manufacturing industry, the semi skilled laborers are required. They are using the simple power driven machines also. It provide employment to the local people, and it increase the purchasing power of the local people only. The countries like India, China, Brazil, Indonesia, in these countries we can see the small scale manufacturing industries are present. The small scale manufacturing industries actually provide the employment to the population. After the small scale manufacturing industry, we are having the large scale manufacturing industry. The large scale manufacturing industry involves in the large market. They are having huge amount of the raw materials they are using. They are using the energy resources. Over here, the skilled and specialized workers are working. They are using the advanced technology, and they are actually producing a huge amount of the goods. Even the large capital investment is required. These all are the basic characteristics of the large scale manufacturing industry. This kind of the industry is developed in the developed countries of the world almost from last 200 years. In the United Kingdom, in the northeastern USA, in the Europe, now it is diffused almost all over the world also. Now, large scale manufacturing industry again divided into the world into two types. One is called the traditional large scale manufacturing industry, and another one is called the high technology large scale manufacturing industry. The traditional large scale manufacturing industries are clustered into the developed countries, and the high technology large scale industrial regions are diffused in the less developed countries. Now, industry classification is done on the basis of the raw material, like the agro-based industry. Simple meaning, agro-based industries involved in the processing of the raw material from the fields, or the raw material which are collected from the agricultural fields only, like the food processing industry, the sugar production industry, the tea, coffee, or rubber industry, etc. Mineral based industries, these industries use minerals as a raw material. Some industries uses ferrous metallic minerals, some industries are uses non-ferrous minerals. So iron and steel industry is one of the example of the mineral based industries. Chemical based industry, the chemical based industries are using the chemical mineral like the petroleum, or you can talk about the other kind of the chemicals like the natural chemicals and all, or the synthetic fibers, or the plastic industries. This all comes under the chemical based industries. The forest based raw material, the forest based raw material means these industries are using the raw material, that is use the wood, bamboo, grass, and the paper industry. Animal based industry, the leather industry, the woolen textiles and all are come under the animal based industries. Industries based on the output and the product. Industries are divided according to the output into two ways. One is called the basic industry, and another one is called the non basic or consumer industry. The basic industry means iron and steel industry is an example of the basic industry, where the raw material is used in other industries also. In case of the iron and steel industry, the iron and steel is used by different industries of the world. That's why it is called the basic industry. And the non-basic industry means this products are used or consumed by the consumers directly only. Suppose the industry is producing the biscuits, chocolates, sugars, soap, televisions and all. This all comes under the non-basic industry, or non-basic industry also called as consumer goods industry. Now, industry based on the ownership. According to the ownership, industries are divided into three parts. One is the public industry, another one is the private industry, another one is the joint industry. Public industry are owned and managed by the governments only. That means these all are the government industry. Socialist countries having many state owned industries also. In case of the mixed economy country, they are having public private industry both. Private industrial sector, it is solely owned by the individual investors only. Joint industrial sector, this is managed and run by joint stock companies, or sometimes the private and public sectors both together manage and establish this kind of the industry. So this is all about the classification of the industry.